What's up guys, this is Astranox. In this Etheria Restart video, I want to go over this amazing event that's happening once again, the Blessings Galore. So I'll go over things that you should do to be ready for this amazing event. We're going to be able to do a lot of farming. So it is happening this weekend. It's roughly a bit more than 4 days after the release of this video, right? So yeah, I mean, I'll be doing a lot of farming on my 3 free-to-play accounts, and it's going to make you get double drops in investigation, threshold, and GP outposts, right? Grim Pursuit is not in here. Every time there's a Blessings Galore, there's not gonna be, double drop for the Grim Pursuit unless they change things, right? So that's why I'm personally actually farming the Grim Pursuit when we don't have the Blessings Galore. I put a higher priority on farming the Grim Pursuit, and that is the first tip that I want to give you. Now I'm gonna go in the game and I'll talk about things so you can better, ready your account for this second round of Blessings Galore. Here we go. So it is also in the patch notes for the 9th of July. You can see here when you go into the game notification, Blessings Galore. So now it seems like they actually changed when it actually activates based on which server you're playing on. So it will activate at 4 in the morning for your SVT, like that's server time zone, I think, right? So based on if you play on global, if you play on an Asia server or on a Europe server, it will be from 4 in the morning. So on 12, and then, well, I mean, like that's 2 days, right? 48 hours to go crazy and just do as much farming as efficient as you can be. So let me give you some more tips for handling the Blessings Galore. So of course, I'm farming Nico Nana Inferno. This is the easiest Inferno Grim Pursuit that you can farm. I love to get myself a bunch of Artisan. It is crazy overpowered. You can just have it on multiple animus in your team. So I can just do one now, but yeah, I just use as much of my stability on that as possible, right? So when the Blessing Galores happen, the Blessings Galore, right? I'm gonna be getting a lot of Etheria coins, which I'm definitely not getting much right now when I'm farming the Grim Pursuit. Now you definitely want to be saving. If you have not been saving, that is definitely your top priority, because those Blessings Galore will be on repeat every month to month and a half. So they've confirmed that, and that's great, because now we're not like, man, are they gonna release more or not? We got confirmation, so now we can easily just save our mantle stabilizer for the Blessings Galore, right? And then what you want to do is you want to, I've done one already because that's the discounted one, for 60 Hydra Crystal. As free to play, that's the most efficient thing you can do the first refill for 60. But like, okay, you're gonna get like 10 refill the day before, right? Before it turns into the Saturday, 4 a.m. server time. Kind of like, if you're able to log in before it happens, you want to purchase this, because you're gonna have this added like 1,000 stability on top of, however close you are to reaching your max, instead of like just losing a bunch of stability recovered, because it's replenished by 1 every 5 minutes. As you can see, the Etheria coins that we get from Grim Pursuit is nothing crazy. And then if we sell those, we don't get Etheria coins, right? But it's great to, stock up on, or actually use them to roll stuff, because this, we cannot get enough of Etheria coins and training data. It is ridiculous, right? So yeah, Mantle Stabilizer for the Blessings Galore. You're gonna need 960 to do a full day of refill to get 1,000 stability. So basically, you need you need, let's say, 3,000 or a bit more than 3,000 Hydra Crystal before the Blessings Galore, because the day before it turns on, you're going to buy, you know, at 1,000 stability. I purchased the first one already, but you got a 1,000 there, right? On top of like being close to the max from the refresh of 1 every 5 minutes. And you're gonna do it again on Saturday, right? And then you're gonna do it again on Sunday. So yeah, that is very close to, you know, 3,000 Hydra Crystal for you to just go crazy with the refills. Now after that, right, you use your mental stabilizer, right? But you should always, because if you don't have much time, always do full refills before you consume any mental stabilizer. You might just have an hour or two, maybe your team is not that fast, right? And you're just going to end up saving your mental stabilizer for a future Blessings Galore, because maybe now you can't farm Inferno threshold, right? Maybe you cannot. So you're not as efficient as you can be. So maybe you want to save some or the majority of them for later. Maybe you started playing, you know, Etheria Restart not too long ago, and your teams are not quite set up, right? You are, especially if you're not doing Hell 4 and you're like doing Hell 1 or 2, I personally wouldn't go too crazy, right? Like between Blessings Galore, I'll be working on farming for my shells, because shells is a lot of power for your account. You get a ton of power, especially when you start rolling the right passives. So much power, right? And also shells, I mean, even if you don't farm Inferno shells, right? This is not an Inferno level shell with triple matrix effect on, right? But the thing is, you have the imprint function. So whenever you're able to start getting the Inferno version of your mythic shell, you're just going to imprint into the Inferno version, right? So whatever you invest into those like amazing shells like Revelation, like Artisan, right? You can't go wrong. Like White Fang, it's fine. Just farm as much shell, like training data, and farm the right, you know, bosses for the ones that you need the right shell for your team. If you're missing on certain things, then farm for those. And then, yeah, you just, you know, imprint into the triple matrix effect. You can't go wrong, right? And that's going to be more efficient than like farming, you know, if you're not even doing Hell, or if you're like only able to handle Hell 1 or Hell 2. I mean, I would say Doki Doki would be your priority, because getting speed on your account, on your supports, is game changing. You're just going to be getting so many more turns. It's going to be so much easier for you to survive PvE, and you're going to do much better in PvP, because whoever has the most speed and, you know, opens up, if you're able to push your damage dealer that attacks everyone, you can pretty much wipe the floor with the enemy and win, right? So speed is huge for PvE and for PvP. So as you can see, I don't have any Inferno on cleared yet as free to play, right? Yes, I could do Inferno Doki Doki if I really applied myself, but like I said, I'm working on Grim Pursuit. I'm not worried, because when the Blessings Galore is gonna, you know, happen, I'll have farmed a lot of shells, right? I'll have like the right passives on my shells, and I'm pretty sure I can easily take out Doki Doki Inferno by swapping gear, right? But I'm still working on the shell of my Romoka, right, to get that extra bit of damage to push her to like 100,000 damage or more on her splash, so I can clear out the whole wave, and to get that 285 speed or more on my Kazuyo the Reverie, so she can sleep the enemy wave before they even attack me, so they don't apply any debuff on me, deal damage to me. So I could potentially one-shot each of the waves if things go right. And also I wouldn't rely on something like bringing a Ling Lao to get the immunity up, healing my team, right? And I'll have a very fast team. So I prefer to have a fast team, right? Like I would much prefer doing Hell for speed running that over doing Inferno if it meant that Inferno would take like 5 minutes, right? Because you have not that much time, and it also depends on how much time you can play Etheria Restart during the Blessings Galore. So it is going to be much more worth it if you're able to do like around 1 minute, or like, because I'm doing Doki Doki Hell 4 on the first Blessings Galore. I was running these in like 30-second, one-shotting wave 1, one-shotting wave 2. But initially, when the Blessings Galore dropped, because my first account, which is this one, free to play, I was farming Terramaton before I even did Doki Doki. I did Terramaton and then I did some Aurora, but that was a mistake. Doki Doki should be the first, place that you farm in Threshold over the other ones, because getting speed is a massive game changer, because the majority of your team is going to be support, healer, debuffer, buffer, right? So when you get that speed, then it's so much easier. And then in Terramaton, you get your, you start getting some damage sets, modules, matrix effect, and then you get your best, matrix effects from Aurora, right? Like momentum, right? Fury edge later on, Inferno Terramaton. But yeah, so that Doki Doki is a massive priority. So I was doing like Hell 1, quickly I got into Hell 2, and then Hell 3, and then Hell 4. All during the Blessings Galore. It just took a few, like, sometimes just a few hundred stability, 2000 stability, because I didn't really farm any Doki Doki. When I started getting that extra bit of speed across all my supports, it was a massive game changer, and my account was completely transformed. Like, I was so much stronger because of that. So yeah, during a Blessings Galore, you can do a lot of stuff. If you do have the time, you can start boosting your team, like getting the right pieces of gear. You're going to be getting a lot of Etheria coins, because you're going to be... I should make a video actually how to actually handle modules, which one you should keep, to enhance when you actually get the Etheria coin, or which one you should get rid of, because you're pretty much not even going to fish, let's say speed or whatever on them, because they don't even have speed to begin with, or maybe they only have like 2 substat, right? Or they only have 2 matrix effect and not 3. So yeah, there's quite a bit of strategies that I can go over. So yeah, Doki Doki is super, super important. I will see if I can do like speed runs of Inferno. I will do that, but I might just spend the first day just doing speed run of Hell 4. And to be honest, like, yes, what you want to do that, like, because you refill the day before the Blessings Galore turned on, the day before. I'm saying like an hour, like few minutes before, or maybe you have to work, you have to do something, you're busy, you're gonna, like, before you log off, before the Blessings Galore, you need to do full refill. It's gonna be 10,000 stability, even if you're gonna be missing out on 1 stability every 5 minutes, it's fine, because you're gonna get so much value. You're gonna be farming at double power basically out of that, right? Another thing, so basically if you're going to be logging off just before the Blessings Galore, or you're going to be doing it just before it gets turned on, what you want to do is also in Union, you want to basically do it. You want to do it just before the Blessings Galore, or before you log off, because that's up to 100 stability. Also, your weekly quest, I mean, here we go, mental stability. But now what I'm gonna do is that, before this resets, you will have to eventually claim this, right? But I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna not claim it now, I'll claim it for the Blessings Galore, right? And I mean, there's other ways as well. Okay, so also in the Ethernet rally, you can get some stability. There's also in Union, you can also get stability from when you fight another guild, right? When you start taking out some of the, well, it had to go to layout. I should put my team in there. But yeah, when you fight, you are also able to get some stability. So like, that's really min-maxing like crazy, because you're not going to be getting that much, but really the login into your Union is a big one, because that's 100 stability there just before the Blessings Galore goes on. And there is mental stabilizer all over the place in the game as well from events. This shop here, I mean, this thing is it's gonna get away before it actually starts the Blessings Galore. So I always get the evolution lattice. I get like, the skill up, of course, before I get anything else. And after that, I mean, if you think about it, the red shadow print, it's 1,000, right? But like, you can just buy the lower ones. It's fine. Like, you don't have to go for red shadow print. You can go for get 2 out of 2 orange. You can get, you know, like purple. You can get your anima prototype, and then mental stabilizer. Sometimes they have that instead of like pure stability. But yeah, if there is an event just before the Blessings Galore, you could just like purchase just before like the event goes away, or you save them. You don't purchase them before the Blessings Galore if it's gonna still be up, right? So just like quick tip right there. But yeah, what else can you get ready before the Blessings Galore? So like my real Mocha, right? Like, that's not her actual stats, because I just swapped the gear from Didding onto her, but Didding has too much crit chance. And if you're running like a real Mocha, right, like you're gonna have affinity advantage, which means that you get a 15% crit rate bonus. So she basically, because I use Yang, which gives 30% crit rate on top of, you know, 15% crit rate, that's 45% crit rate. So she technically just needs 55% crit rate on my real Mocha to crit all the time, right? Because I'm at affinity advantage, and then my Yang gives 30% crit rate right there. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that off. He doesn't have the right shell. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that off in Inferno, because I would need to one-shot each of the waves, right? But yeah, that makes things so much easier to gear. But you need to get whatever shell that you're going to be using. If you're running Ziada, you're going to need to make sure your Revelation, you don't need like the Inferno version. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. You'll have more stat. You'll have like 40 speed instead of 35. But like, I still need to work on this, because this I can potentially get, you know, I mean, I'm not going to be using her Yelly. Maybe I will use her actually in Inferno. We'll see. You know, I might be able to use both of them or something like that. But let's say in your case, you're running like Ziada, you're running Messiah, so you're gonna be running Revelation, because it's overpowered. And then let's say the first one, you only have like 15% attack, so you should start to work on that before the Blessings Galore. It's important, because you might be able to, like, it could be the difference between one-shotting a wave or not one-shotting a wave, right? So especially if you're free to play and you're not gonna have like prowesses unlocked, which means like you're missing out on some crit, you know, like damage, right? So like people that spend money, they might have this thing maxed out. I mean, maybe not for light or dark SSR, but that's damage right there. That's damage, right? I mean, that's crit rate, which means like you get, that's less crit rate you need to have on your substats, and you could have like more attack, more crit damage, which equals to more damage in the end, maybe even more flat attack, right? So right there you see crit damage, that's damage. Here the final damage. So if someone has these things maxed out, it's so much easier for them to one shot compared to a free-to-play player that doesn't have these things, you know, unlocked. So yeah, you can get some value out of that. But if you don't have these things, if you don't have the luxury, then you definitely want to min-max and get this, you know, you want to get close to 30% attack. Of course, like getting mythic 24%, that's fine. Like in the current state, it's so hard to actually roll for, you know, for like just getting mythic is ridiculous when you have rare that's in the possibility. And a lot of time it's going to be, you know, blue or purple. You're not even going to get gold, or and most definitely not red, right? And if it is red, it's going to be the wrong one in most of the time, right? So of course percentage attack is going to be way better than flat as well. You can do the comparison, but like when you are 6-star, especially close to max level or your max level, you're getting so much more value on an attack base, you know, animus if you have the percentage value. So you want to change your flat to percentage value. Now here, the crit rate, maybe you're in the same boat as me and you have, let's say, a real Mocha, and you're maybe using Yang as well. So you're getting right there 45% crit rate. So you just need 55. So if you have crit rate on the second, it might be too much already. Maybe you need to change the crit rate. Okay, if you have mythic, stick with it. But if you have to do like, if you have to choose, right? If you have to choose the gold one, crit rate versus the gold one crit damage, I would go for crit damage, because you might be able to get more crit rate, you know, in various ways. You might be, you know, unlucky, let's say, and or lucky, and get multiple copies here, and then you could get some crit damage and crit rate. And also in the shop, you might be able to, over time in the anima shop, if, let's say Ziada's here, right? So if you have these saved up, there you go. You could get some extra, copies of Ziada here for your anima to boost your animus prowess. Yeah, that's one way to go about it. Same with Rosa. If you use Rosa for your Doki Doki, right? Then these are ways to get that extra bit of damage, and it will change things, because especially if you unlock the crit, then you don't want to have too much crit, right? So yeah, that's another strategy right there. So like you can see here, I can definitely get up to 30% crit, but if I'm getting the mythic version, I'm happy with that. If I get 24%, I'm not gonna be greedy, right? I'll work on this getting crit damage higher, because from 17% crit damage to 24 up to 30%, that would be massive right there, right? So I would do that. And here I lucked out. I'm not gonna be greedy. I got final damage dealt by 8%. Why would I change this? Yes, it's possible. Yes, it's possible to get hollow damage to 12%, but like, it could be just 10%, and then that would not be a universal one. Now I can swap this across anyone, any character, like Animus, and I can put it to good use. But if you have one stuck on a specific affinity, then it's not a universal one. So I give more weight to the one that affects, all affinity over a specific affinity. So I lucked out. I'll keep it like that, right? And then of course, if you can farm the Inferno Grim Pursuit boss, and you can upgrade, into the Inferno version with triple Matrix effect, go for it. You'll get more stats, so that's more damage there. But yeah, you definitely want to prep those. Be ready, and let's just let's just give it a shot. I've been working on it. Like, it's rough. Like, you guys know, it's definitely so hard at this game to roll these, man. Like, you can farm for days and not get an upgrade. Like, it's so hard. You need a lot of patience. And the Grim Pursuit, you don't get the double drop from the Blessings Galore, so you need to do the Grim Pursuit farming before it happens. My Didding, if I'm doing Termaton, for Hell 4, I'm running Didding and Yelly with okay, I lucked out. I got Lily. Took me 2 weeks to get my first Apex SSR. I'm free to play. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm gonna use them, right? I'm gonna use Lily, I'm gonna use Yelly. I lucked out, so there you go. Not everyone is lucky, but like Romoka, you can destroy Doki Doki. That's not the build that you want to aim for. It's going to be like the stats of Didding, basically. And I'm going to be running like 1 crit rate main stat, and I'll be running like attack percentage and crit damage on the other one. So yeah, my Romoka will be ready. I'll have my Yang that will be, helping a lot. And he doesn't have the right gear on, but yeah, like getting the attack buff going, the crit rate, right, buff going. But the thing is, you don't even have to use Yang. You could be using Valerian. Valerian could be built very slow, and then the basic buff effect here, as soon as your Animus goes, even before Valerian, if you have the skill ups into the skill number 3, that is attack buff right there, right? So especially if you're doing Inferno, could be using Valerian as your buffer. I mean, you can use Freya. There's a lot of different ways to go about it. If you don't luck out, and you don't have a class, then it's fine. You can build Dyna, even for Doki Doki. You run them with Codex of Magic. Codex of Magic will allow them to use the skill 3 back to back. So it works, right? And yeah, I mean, that's it. You're going to have defense down, and then, you have your attack buff, or, your attack buff, or you go with, where is she? My Freya on a meme build of Revelation attack, which is not even, I'm not even using her, but like, because I put 7th best set on her, or something like that. I mean, not 7th one, but it's like the 4th best one or 5th best one. So I haven't worked on that for a long time. So also, if you're going to be working on doing Inferno, Doki Doki, or something else, you need to raise your speed all across. So yes, of course, speed can be raised by farming Doki Doki, right? So the thing is, shell farming is very important because, like I said, Blessing Galore doesn't get a double, shell training data. You're not getting double shells to drop and stuff like that. So you need to work on them before it happens. But also, like, if you need to like get some extra speed, Shadow Dash doing the Inferno version of Grim Pursuit will get you like 40 speed instead of 35. So like together, right? So because you can get Shadow Dash to give you 20 speed. I'm not gonna go for that. Yeah, that's crazy. Like if I get 16, I'm happy already, because like I don't even know what the odds are, and the odds might not even be even. It's not like a roll, right? Like a roll from 1 to 5 to decide which one you're gonna get from these. It could be like the higher value could be a much lower chance, right? It's possible. I don't know how the game is actually coded, but like, don't be greedy with these things. It's so hard to roll the passives. Like if you got a mythic percentage attack, right, like it's fine. Like you don't need 30%. Work on a different shell, like on a different shell for a support or something like that. So you're gonna need to raise your speed. Like let's say you want to open up on Doki Doki wave 1, like you need like 285 speed to open up, right? And you need the effect accuracy, and you will need more effect accuracy because you need to like this. Like this is, yes, it's a triple hit. It has attack down. If the target is already inflicted with attack down, this effect changes to 45% chance of inflicting slumber, right? So like 3 hit, and then you have 65% chance, and that you can bring to 100%. And how you do that? Well, is by increasing your effect accuracy, and you need to have more effect accuracy than how much effect resistance the enemy have, and they have more in Inferno. The higher the difficulty, the more effect resistance they will have, and you need to stack a lot of effect accuracy. I think I need over 200% because I had to change something, because I ended up getting a crit main because this has 12 speed. It's not because I want crit rate, it's because that's a piece that I have 12 speed on, and it worked that it's time weave, so I can enable the 18% effect accuracy. So I said, why not? This was on my Lily, and then on my Lily today I lucked out, and it just kept rolling in speed. That's the first time I get 15 speed, I believe, right? 4 rolls in a row into speed. The final one, I was like, come on, hit speed, come on, and it didn't. It got flat attack. Could you imagine if it was speed? That could have been like, what is it, like 18, 19 speed? I'm not sure the variation in the rolls, but that's insane, right? Like flat defense, I don't care if it's flat defense. It even helps because I'm running Artisan. But like, if I get something like that, that frees up whatever modules was there, and then boom, I just drop it on, on Kazuyo the Reverie, and yeah, great. I don't care if it's crit rate, as long as you hit your, the right amount of effect accuracy. So you need to work on these stats. Get your team ready, or at least like have the gear ready. You can, you can set these up, preset loadout, which I still have not done, but you can have preset loadouts so you're ready when the event happens. Maybe you have a limited amount of time. You don't have like 16 hours per day for the weekend to go crazy on the farming. And if you can prep all these, you can do some test runs, see how much time it takes to do your run, and then you're going to be able to figure out what you're going to be farming. Now another big thing is that, okay, when you're farming, right now, initially, as soon as the Blessings Galore turns on, right, you're gonna have a lot of stability. Now you might be close to the cap, right? Plus you did get the login from Union before the new day, right? And you got 1,000 stability on top of that, right? And that means like you need to kind of like burn this ASAP if you want to be as efficient as possible, because you're refreshing, you're missing out on 1 per 5 minutes. It's nothing crazy, but you could do some GP outposts. I would recommend doing GP outposts to just burn a few hundreds at least. You need to balance it out between all the affinity, all the elements. It's affinity, anyways. Yeah, so you work on that, and I would do that even over investigation. Yes, if you have not done investigation because you don't find it efficient, like I don't do investigation really, because you barely get any of these, so you cannot start up. And these are fine because I can get plenty of these from other pieces of content, And yeah, of course, you're not gonna have whatever new animus you got, and you need to level them up so you can start them up, and you can bring them in your core team to farm, you know, some higher difficulty threshold or grim pursuit. Of course, you're not going to be bringing a lot of time a 4-star level 1, you know, animus in inferno threshold, right? I mean, you can do it on some support, especially if you have a lot of speed, a lot of like module, you know, you have the right stats already. But a lot of times, yes, you need to get some of these. But if you plan accordingly, you don't even need to farm investigation, even the double drop rate, because the summon drop rate on this thing is garbage. It's super bad. It's super bad. These, I've done a video about it. It's insane. Like, don't farm this for starring up your animus. It's not worth it. You're gonna get them over time. You shouldn't rush that. But yeah, sometimes you want to knock out a few hundred stability and investigation during the Blessings Galore, so you can power level new animus that you get. You know, while you summon, you want to start to build new, you know, animus, some meta ones that you don't have, so you can make your life easier to push into PvE content, right? So you can definitely knock out investigation, because you're going to be speed running this initially, and then you can switch to GP outpost and try to get your teams ready. Like, if you have a Realmoka, she can destroy everything, right? She just like clears stages in like a few seconds. So you're gonna be able to dump that stability very quick, and then you're gonna, you know, get into threshold. You're gonna do the real farming here. This is where it's happening, right? So if you're doing Aurora and it takes you 4 minutes or more, 5 minutes, 10 minutes to do your runs in Inferno, well, it's a possibility you could just do Hell 4 to speed things up. Or if you can do Inferno in a fast, like at the fast speed, Doki Doki, do that. If you have Shadow Senia, you can speed run Termaton in Inferno, right? So get all these things ready. If you think you can actually do it, but you have not done it yet, in your mind you think, yeah, I'll be able to do it, it's fine. Maybe the time, you don't have enough time, because the least amount of time you have during the Blessings Galore, the harder it's gonna be. Because when you get into, you know, you have finished with investigation and farming GP outposts, you have plenty of these, you have plenty of materials. Now, as you can see, I am still good on these materials, right? The red one, the blue one I need to work on, because I've been pushing Ling Lao skill 1. I'm in the struggle for the blue one, so I'm gonna do a lot of GP outposts for that. I mean, quite a decent amount, maybe a few hundreds, or like, yeah, we'll see, a few hundreds of stability, a few hundred stability for green, and then, you know, for dark I'm still kind of good. I will have to do it for light, right? Like, so that's my plan. I am completely skipping investigation. For me, it's complete trash, even during the Blessings Galore, because I could be using that stability somewhere else. Because, you know, to get experience over time, just do Phantom Theater every day. You do event like Cage Rumble, like, you know, you're gonna be getting all these things to power level your animus experience over time. And you're not, as free to play especially, you're not building animuses every, you know, day, like bringing them to 6-star, like 5-star. Like, you should be working on your shells and on getting modules, right? Shells priority over modules. So yeah, knock out some investigation, then GP outpost, and then threshold. Now, if you have this on, you know, for some reason you got all 3 Inferno, then maybe you're not just, maybe you're not just not watching this video, but yeah, I mean, if you have Shadow Senia, Termaton Inferno might be easier than Doki Doki Inferno for you, right? So you could just do that, because you're going to be knocking out Termaton in like a minute or less, so you can easily burn your stability in Termaton and be as efficient as you can be, right? Maybe Doki Doki, you can do Hell 4, so maybe you're going to speed run that. You need some more speed and stuff, and while you're running that in the background, you can just like start, you know, fishing for gear enhancing, and see like, okay, you have a quad substat piece that's not a module that's not even enhanced yet, that you're fishing for speed. You roll it +3, and then no speed, give up, go to the next one. Or if you have a limited amount of them, you can just bring it to +6 and try again. If no speed, you know, you're fishing from modules to modules. It doesn't have to be swift raid. You might be going for off pieces, right, just to go and try to get as much speed as possible. And then like you might be able to go from Doki Doki Hell 4 to Inferno, and that's going to be really big for you. But you have to make sure that your runs are not taking forever, right? And also your success rate, right? If your success rate is not that good, then yeah, maybe it's going to be a lot of time wasted. So you can see Real Mocha, crazy damage probably on her, 5 out of 5. And then, you know, this is, you want to max skill 3, of course. Then the attack with crit damage together. You can see the crit rate is not even that high, right? And they have the count. You can see they don't even have this maxed out, but like they have a Real Mocha 5 on 5. So she's getting a lot of damage out of that. And then I'm not running momentum, right? So that's the thing. If you're able to farm to get like a momentum set going, momentum fury or momentum something else, then you're going to be able to do a lot more damage if you can reliably put a high amount of debuffs on the target. So you're going to be able to do so much more damage with momentum. Because I'm running Keen Eye, right? I'm running Keen Eye, and I prefer if I would have momentum, especially on you know, a multi-hitting Animus. You're dealing less damage per hit with Keen Eye, and momentum you'd be doing a constant damage for every single hit. So that's big if you can get that going from farming Aurora. Definitely that would be massive. And you know, like you can see the speed, yeah, I mean the speed is here. Mio, like she's basically like taking care of the wave, you know, controlling them, you know, stealing the turn meter, putting the speed on the team. And they have Kazuyo the Reverie, which can be used for, you know, that second wave or later on. I mean, yeah, you need to crowd control them, and then you can do max damage to them, because in an Inferno there's a 90% damage reduction, right? So that's crazy. You most definitely need to control them, right? So you need to get that team ready, have equipment set, you know, preset, so you can swap real quick to speed things up. And it will definitely make your life so much easier, especially most especially if you have a limited amount of time for the Blessings Galore. Yeah, you got the game running on your phone. What you can do is you log in, you send a new set of like 10 battles, and then, you know, you go do whatever, you close the game, and then you come back. You can keep doing that during the weekend. And yeah, if you can just save your mental stabilizer for the next Blessings Galore, you're not going to be as efficient as possible, but that's something you could do. And then right, like if you're going to be going away, of course you can do that 10 run of like Aurora, Inferno, or whatever you want to run. It might take a few minutes, but it's fine. You're going to go sleep, you know, you're not going to be playing for like an hour or two or more. Then you can send those slow run to go in the background, but you definitely want to have those continuous battle in the background while you're doing something else, if you're trying to spend that stability ASAP. So yeah, you could be, you know, having GP outposts in the background while you're farming Threshold. And then if you're not sure if you can do Inferno, well, while GP outpost is going, you could be, you know, maybe your success rate is not so good, or maybe if that one condition doesn't happen, then it's going to ruin your whole run. So what you can do is you can just press challenge, right? And then maybe your success rate is like 50%, but based on like the first few turns, it will dictate if like that success rate will go up so much higher. So you challenge, if things don't go your way, you just restart, because it seems like it's not consuming that one stability. You're not losing that one stability like that. So you keep doing restart until conditions are met and like you're able to just do your run, you know, in higher difficulty or whatever, while you got GP outposts in the background. Or maybe you got Shadow Sania, you got Terramaton, maybe you can do continuous battle in Inferno, you got that running in the background, and then you're trying, you know, your team in Doki Doki Inferno or something, or doing some Hell 4, you do it in challenge, because maybe your success rate is not that good, like I said. Same with Aurora. So follow that principle. And yeah, and you probably want to use these in the shop, the gear shop, module shop. You probably want to go and purchase momentum, because Aurora is maybe the harder, you know, threshold for you, and momentum, getting a set going, I mean, it's very powerful. Getting like 6% damage, up to 36% damage for each, you know, debuff applied, that's a lot of damage. And it's for PV especially, you need the setup for PvP, but yeah, it will overtake Keen Eye. So that might allow you to just have enough damage on, let's say, Real Mocha or Messiah, or enough damage on your Ziara, so you can just like one tap those waves. If you do have a limited amount of time, well, hopefully these tips will make it easier for you. And the worst case, if you're not super efficient right now, you haven't pushed into, you know, Inferno or, you know, high hell difficulty, then just go and, you know, don't go too crazy. Save your stabilizers for maybe the next Blessings Galore if you have a very limited amount of time. It's better doing that than, I would say it's better doing that than just over farming GP outposts or burning everything in investigation when you're not going to be as efficient as you think you are. Even if you're lucking out with summon drops, the drop rate is awful. Even with double drop rate, you're going to get so much value. And don't over farm GP outposts. Don't get like thousands of these materials, like thousands upon thousands, right? Like, can I plan it accordingly, right? Like, you don't want like thousands and thousands of like the advanced one. Like, that's gonna be overkill, right? Like a few hundreds. Yes, you can have thousands of this. Of course, can like 5,000-10,000, maybe the lowest rarity. And you know, the purple one, you could have like a few thousand, and this one, yeah, you could bring that to 1,000 as well, or at least high hundreds, or around 500. You're gonna be good. You're gonna be able to build a lot of different animuses, and then just make sure you're building animuses of different, you know, affinity. You're not like going crazy with like all the blue materials, and then you're just gonna burn them out, right? So yeah, that were my tips for, you know, getting ready for the Blessings Galore. Let us know what you guys think about all that in the comment section. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all ya do. Peace out for now.